ABBA and Eagle coming up after the news. Is it the oven, the microwave, the hob, the slow cooker, or even the air fryer that is cheapest to use? We're going to look at all of them. And is there scaffolding on your street that's been up for months on end? This is Radio 2 on the BBC Sound app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 1 o'clock. This is Justine Green. Police investigating the murder of a 9-year-old girl in Liverpool say they have a number of very positive lines of inquiry. The number of top GCSE grades awarded to students has fallen compared with last year, and why the languages we learn at school last a lifetime, even if we don't use them. Police searching for the man who shot a 9-year-old girl in Liverpool have said they will not rest until they find her killer. Olivia Pratt-Corbell was shot by a gunman who was chasing another man in the Dovecot area on Monday night. During an update on the investigation, officers said they'd been given a number of names for the suspect and had spoken to a second man caught up in the incident. There have been 3 fatal shootings in the city in the last week and a half, including that of Ashley Dale in Old Swan and Sam Rimmer in Dingle. Detective Chief Superintendent Mark Kameen said his team were working around the clock to get answers.
These investigations are incredibly fast-paced and incredibly complex. But despite this, there are multiple lines of inquiry that we are actively pursuing. I'd like to reassure our communities that we are working relentlessly on each of those murder investigations, and those main lines of inquiry are being pursued effectively.
The pass rate for this year's GCSEs in England, Wales and Northern Ireland has fallen compared with 2021, but remains higher than when the external exams were last sat in 2019. Today's results also show a significant variation in the percentage of top grades being awarded in different areas. Here's our education correspondent Elaine Dunkley.
This year has been a tricky one for GCSE students who have sat exams after repeated lockdowns and a loss of classroom teaching. Today's results show fewer top grades have been awarded than last year, with 26% of entries getting a grade 7 or A, compared with nearly 29% in 2021. And there were significant differences around England, with more top grades in London than anywhere else. But results overall were considerably higher than in 2019, and girls continued to outperform boys. Results for vocational and technical awards are also being released, though some BTEC pupils could face delays because of ongoing issues with marking.
An exam board has apologised to thousands of students who haven't received their grades a week after other pupils faced delays in getting results from the same body. Pearson said around 5,700 people were waiting for BTEC results, and it was working with schools and colleges to resolve queries. There's been criticism of British Gas's plan to donate 10% of its profits to help people cope with soaring energy bills. Its owner Centrica says thousands of households will receive up to £750. But a former executive at the firm believes it will only benefit 0.5% of customers, describing it as a token gesture. Val Burrows owns a laundrette in East Grinstead in West Sussex. She says she's struggling to stay afloat because of rising bills.
Between the gas and the electric, the average has gone up 173%. Clearly, there's a demand in East Grinstead for the laundrette, but it has to be affordable. We are an essential community service. You know, I can't pass those price increases on to my customers. Just ridiculous. I just don't know what to do.
Rishi Sunak has criticised the government's response to COVID, suggesting that independent scientific advisers were given too much authority. The Conservative leadership candidate, who was Chancellor during the pandemic, told The Spectator magazine he'd often been a lone voice of resistance within Downing Street. Number 10 said that ministers took decisions collectively to protect public health. Researchers cast doubt on the old saying that people who learn languages at school will forget them if they don't practice. Experts at York University believe a nudge in the right part of the brain could see the basics come flooding back, as Tom Harrigan reports.
They're the phrases that have defined so many school French lessons.
Où est la piscine?
J'ai du frais et du sûr. Je voudrais un café au lait, s'il vous plaît.
And it seems we remember them even if we haven't used them for a long time. Nearly 500 people who took French GCSEs, A-levels or their predecessors as far back as the 1970s, but hadn't spoken the language since, were asked to sit a vocabulary test. The researchers found they performed as well as recent school leavers because of the way the brain stores words that have been drummed into our brains. In emergencies, they were also able to recall the right words at short notice. The experts hope their findings will encourage people to take refresher courses if they know it won't be too much work.
Merci, Tom Harrigan. In the city a short time ago, the 100 share index was up 13 points at 7,484. And the weather, thunderstorms in the east of England, London and the southeast should clear this afternoon. Northern Ireland and northern Scotland will see some rain, but it will be dry and bright elsewhere, with highs of 23 Celsius in Cardiff, 21 in London and 19 in Edinburgh and Belfast. BBC News, it's 1:05.
Listen live on the BBC Sounds app. BBC Radio 2.
Coming up, oven, microwave, hob, slow cooker or even air fryer, which is cheapest to use?